You for coming. And right now, our last presentation of the day, but not least, of course, is motorization. Hunter Douglas PowerView Motorization. It's become such an important category in window treatments today, in home automation today, in all technologies. And so many things like cranking up your car window or opening your garage. Nobody would think of doing that manually anymore. And in a few years, you're going to see nobody's going to think of a window treatment being manual. So, Debbie, I'll let you start.
So my name is Debbie Brown. I'm the Hunter Douglas rep, and I have my nurse with me today after my little fall on the way in. This is Yolanda Mackey. She's also a district sales manager, and she's up north.
Yes.
Is it north? I'm central. Are you part central?
I think it's central going to the north. I was just explaining it kind of just bridges a little ribbon going, starting kind of like Middlesex, Mercer County, and then kind of going north through Union, over through Passaic, and toward Hoboken, and that's where it ends for me.
Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody. I'm happy that you're here. I have to tell you a funny story, piggyback on what Elliot was just talking about. My daughter and I, my daughter's 36, and we were in the car, and wasn't that long ago, and a song came on, and it was a country western song, and the song was talking about rolling your windows down. So of course we're singing the song, and I'm going like this, and she looked at me and she goes, "Mom, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm rolling down the window." She had no idea what I was talking about. Absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
And also, if you really want that feature, I can't even imagine who would.
I don't think you can order it anymore.
You can order it, but it's going to cost you money. You have to pay for that. So that's pretty crazy, right? So we're going to talk today about specifying motorization interior shades for your home. So with that, again, like I just said, we have the new era of home life, and we all saw that, right, during COVID. It was all brought us back into our hubs, our homes, our cocoons, so to speak. So that's where we stayed. So once we got in there, we started looking around and we were like, how do we make this better? How do we improve this? How do we make things simple? Because we're all on the run, right? We're all going 90 miles an hour, doing multitasking all over the place, and this is what we found. So moving from that, we're going to show you some ways of doing that. And what you're looking at here is some multiple functionality with shadings, where you can do shades from your phone, where it's easy lifting, as well as darkness in your different, turning a room a lot darker than it was before. You can also, again, it says achieve that darkness for theaters, which we're going to talk about as well here in a minute. I think that makes me go into. So from here, we're going into the smart home technology. How do we get there? So this is talking about connected devices, and this was actually made in 2022. So these numbers have even gone up further. So here's some of the facts. 118 million people in the US engage in some form of voice search activity at least monthly. 81% of consumers say they are more likely to purchase a new home that has smart technology. 31% of the US broadband households own a smart speaker. They say penetration will grow 55%, as you can see on the charts, by the year 2022. Where do you think it is now?
Well, it's growing, definitely growing. I know that right now our motorization is approaching 40% of sales.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Remember when we first started this?
Yeah.
When we first started this, we never thought, obviously Hunter Douglas did, but we never thought it was ever going to grow in leaps and bounds the way it's grown today. So here's some of the smart home market segments. So we're going to talk about entertainment, security, lighting, HVAC and energy, and home automation. So entertainment, again, 70+% will replace movie theater experience with streaming platforms. That's from Statista. It's a statistic company that gets all these great statistics.
That's for home theaters.
Mm-hmm. And investing in a at-home movie experience. Although we all know that people are now starting to come out again and go to the movies, right? There's still a lot of people that are not doing that. They're making their homes that movie entertainment center.
They're building very luxurious theaters in the house with cushion, motorized, seats, and the acoustics with all paneling that absorbs sound.
Yes.
And they're doing really, even though they might be going out again, they're still watching the movies at home.
It was interesting because, that was usually all for people that were like in the entertainment industry, right? All your actors and actresses and all that. And now it's coming into regular homes.
We recently did a drapery job for a homeowner that had a home theater, but he also had a room that was a golf simulator. So now around the screen, he needed to put drapery, and very often we'll have that drapery motorized so that they can open and close, and also the fabric absorbs the sound.
Yes, yes. So again, we just spoke about this a couple minutes ago, the new living room, being that flexible space with the help of motorized shades. As we saw again, I hate to keep bringing up COVID, but that's the best example I have, to be back home. And I mean, how many people turn their rooms into gyms? We all had to, at some point, turn our homes into offices. And some people are still working from home in their offices. And all of that, when you look at shadings, that's what it's all about. I mean, we need to control the lighting, right, in those spaces. So this became very important. So this is just showing you the difference on how it can go from dark to light. And now we died. There we go.
Yeah. I know on our loop, Perry took a great picture of a house that we did locally that had motorized vignette shades, and they're all room darkening, and also there was a room with roller shades with rails, and we took videos putting them down, and you could see how the room gets dark.
It gets really dark.
As you do it. It's really cool to see.
It is, yes.
So we can look afterwards at the loop that we have on the screen in the back.
Yes, that's great. And also in the end too, for those of you that haven't seen, the shades in motion or whatever, we're going to take a little tour around if you have any questions. And even for some of you that are here that know about shadings, and you have questions, we're going to go with that, help you with that as well. So now we're going to talk about safety and security. And again, as you can see, there's a lot of things in our home now that is your motorized shading help as well as security. So these actually work to show that if you're home, they go down. If you're away from home, you can schedule them to go up and down. There's your security. It's like a security system that makes it look like somebody's in the house when you're away. Talk about that a little bit later too. And as you can see up on the right-hand side, that's an actual smart panel. So a lot of this all has to do with the smart home. Does anyone in here have a smart home already? You do?
I implemented some of things, and lighting, and what else? Washer, dryer.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, that's big.
Refrigerator?
No, not yet.
Not
They
yet?
put some
Window
clothes in the
treatments?
washer dryer.
Now, next we have to do your window treatments.
I'm waiting for Alexa to cook for me, but not yet.
That's great. Great. I'm seeing more and more of that, and you are as well, I'm sure.
Oh, the AC, actually.
So again, this is what we're working with too when I talk about your phone. So
Yeah.
Elliot has the app on his phone. Can you show them from your phone how something would work?
I just closed that from pressing the button on the app. And now I can let it time out. I can open it. And we have these timed so they go up and down all day long. I think half hour, 15 minutes every half hour. So
Right.
at 3:30,
They'll
they'll
start to
probably
come
go
down.
back down. Yeah. And then we have, you could also work it with a remote. So I have a remote also that can operate them. So if they go down in the middle of the presentation, I can put them back up.
That's great. Love to hear that. That's perfect. And you can operate these anywhere in the world.
And
From
the other
anywhere in
way
the world. You
is-
could be in Paris and open and close your shades.
Right. And we have voice command. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Window Treats, where we feature the latest in Hunter Douglas automated window treatments, where your shades will respond to the sound of your voice.
How cool is that? So that you can actually do this, have your window shades operate from voice control. So that's pretty cool.
Security feature. People think you're home and you're
That's
not.
right.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
So I had
absolutely.
someone call me and say, I'm going away. I want to shut off the program. I said, no. I said, just the opposite. Leave it so the shades open and close every day, because this way people will still think you're home. So that's great, Jeff. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's perfect. I do it all the time. At my house, I have it set up where I do daylight, sunset and sunrise, sunrise, sunset. I have it set on that, but I also have it set on wine time. So when my car gets in the driveway, I walk in the door, I say hi to the dog, and I say, I'm not going to say Alexa, hey Google, operate wine time. And the shades come down, I get my glass of wine, I drink my wine, then I take the dog out. No, I don't. I take the dog out first. I really do. I do have that. I do have these, and I love them. It's funny once you get something like this in your house, you don't know how you lived without it. You just don't. It's just so easy and makes your life simplified, I think. Different materials, different levels of privacy. Hunter Douglas has them all. Whoops. Again, you can change the mood by adjusting the light. And what you see here is we have, I think this is actually the architectural shade.
No, I think that's vignette.
Oh, it is vignette. This is vignette. Okay.
It's vignette dualite.
Okay. So that's the vignette shade that you're looking at here. But this is this a dualite or no? This one?
No.
Okay.
No, because that's not vignette. It's architectural.
Oh, this is architecture.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the vignette dualite is
Oh, it's behind
there.
It's behind there.
So I think Audrey has the remote behind you.
Yeah, you really need to take a look at this because this is pretty cool when it's operating.
Yeah, wait, I could do it from here. 1 second. I got it here. 1 second. I'm going to pick it up for you.
How do you keep track of all the blinds, though?
The what? Well, they're labeled. I'm just seeing if I can do it from here. Oh, Audrey has it there. Okay.
Is it the one behind you want?
Yeah. Yeah, I just did it. You see the blackout shade from behind.
Oh,
is
feel free
now
to get up
going
and take a look.
Yeah, you're not glued to your seat.
You're not, honest. See?
You see, so it's a sheer fabric and it's a blackout shade behind so that you can have sheer during the day, which gives you daytime privacy. And you can still see through it. But at night, or if you need to control the light more, you could put the blackout roller shade down. And you could have that programmed and timed to sunrise, sunset, or I think it's 90 minutes before or after. And it sounds like a very cool feature.
Is it customizable?
Yes. Yeah, you could have it going up as many times as you want all day long.
Take an afternoon siesta.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And again, they're talking about here using apps to control the lighting and program scenes depending on the time, task, or mood. And this is terrific. I think this is the best part of all. The average home spends half of its annual energy costs on heating and cooling. Upgrading systems can be energy efficient. To be energy efficient can reduce as much as 25% of the overall energy costs. It's even more than that. It's even the percentage is higher.
We lose most of our energy through the windows. So we lose and gain. So depending on the time of year, so this time of year in the summer, it's been really brutally hot. So we're heating up the houses. So if you put down a shade, you're protecting the house, and the air conditioner doesn't have to work as hard. But you want to do the opposite in the wintertime. In the wintertime, it's cold out. You want to raise the shade and let the sun warm up the room, and then your heat doesn't have to work as much. And so if you're saving just a couple of degrees, it makes a huge, huge difference in your bill. And it pays for the shades.
It really does. And I can attest to it, because I have duets on my bedroom windows. And on those bedroom windows, actually I have the Architella duet, which is a cell within a cell. And I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
Right, well
maybe down. Okay, right there. That it's literally
this
like
whole wall.
Well, if you want to pick out a color, it's
Right.
here. But the actual shade is over there. And can you imagine all those colors? I mean, how can you even make a choice? There's so many of them. It's wonderful. But that I have to tell you that I have those in my home, and it's actually like having a blanket on the window. I was shocked because the amount of, it was in the winter that I noticed this especially, and I was shocked. It was
and that's
just
how it was created during the 1970s oil shortage, and they were working with quilted fabrics on the window, Wendell, and then he came up with a pleated shade and doubled it, and created an air pocket between the glass and the shade, and then within the shade itself.
Yeah, it's pretty
And now
amazing.
it creates 4 air pockets with the Architella.
Yeah.
We try to only sell Architella now.
Yeah, no, it's the best. I mean, as we said, the amount of energy with heating and cooling is pretty incredible. And again, this is showing you that you have to keep in mind that in those winter months and in the summer months, that's what you have to think about. How much energy am I losing out these windows? And not just that too. You have to also think about, your furnishings, your floors. I mean, it's incredible. Some of that you don't even think about until, like you have the hunter green couch and you go to move remember when they used to have the little, what do you call them on the arm? Not doilies, the
plastic
arm cover.
The arm cover.
And you go to lift it up, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, is that dust? It's not dust. It's actually the sun
Faded.
has ruined it. It's faded big time. I've seen it happen.
Oh yeah, we've seen it a lot.
On a Kelly Green
Oh
type,
yeah.
hunter green couch. It was pretty incredible. The moral of the story is always buy like beige.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting too. So the DOE study found that 75% of residential window coverings remain in the same position. And that would be true, right?
That's
You open,
interesting.
yeah, you open your window and you don't have it set on timers or anything and you leave for the day, right? It's like it's stuck there. Now everything's getting faded and you're losing energy and all of that, but that's true. People just put their shade in one position and walk out the door.
It's 3:30.
Uh-oh.
Actually,
Is it wine time?
That's after the presentation. So should I use the app or should I use the remote?
whatever you feel comfortable with.
Let's see, I gotta go back to scenes, TV shades open. So I have here TV shades open. So it's actually sending a signal from the phone to our wireless hub or gateway to the shade, then to the shade. And that's why there's a slight
You
delay.
can show them that, I think. Could she show that part with the, is there a gateway over
That's
there?
the gateway, yeah, it's
Okay.
in the box. So actually in the drawer near where Nadine is sitting is a power supply box that has some of the shades here wired into the box. And there's a gateway there that's actually on top. I see it. So if anybody wants to see the box, it's all wired. So we can do complete houses. The box will handle 16 shades. So we can do multiple shades in a home and wire
We
them.
do a lot of that.
So yeah, so it's much more reliable when you wire. Otherwise, Yolanda, show them the battery pack.
You could look at it around too if you like it.
So we could hold up a battery pack. We have a battery pack. Here, let me take it. A battery pack with AA batteries, and show me the
Rechargeable one.
rechargeable.
Yeah, you're going to
So-
see that in a couple
Yeah,
slides
so
too,
this is a
coming down.
rechargeable battery one. So we have both of them. And we could do single plug-in, and we can also do the power supplies. So there's multiple ways that we can do it, and you know, you have
Maybe you can
power and control, and
maybe
maybe
put
we'll
one
talk
of
more
those
about
into
that
the Pebble
afterwards.
and
But
pass
this
it
is
around.
all for how we power the shades, and then we have to say, how do we control the shades?
This is a great segue into showing you some of the home automation and some of the control systems that we work with. So if you have that smart home, are you working with a Control 4 or any of those up there that you see? Do you have a system like that? No? Okay.
What system is your lighting on?
It's I think it's fake, but it comes with the lighting. Each one has like their own application, I think.
Okay. They all have their own apps.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember the name? It's probably on your app.
So if you decide to go down this road with home automation, you should consider working with an AV specialist and compare, your shades, your motorized shades with the automation system.
So work on Apple.
Yeah.
Yes. So just to clarify, there's hardwired AV systems that usually you'll have a custom integrator will install, and they will run the wiring through the walls, that then they could use this type of wiring like that, and then you can still use the app and the gateway. But if you don't want to get to that level and you just want to use Alexa, like Elliot just showed, or you want to use Google, or you want to use Amazon, you just take our app and then you integrate it with your Alexa or your Google Home or your Apple Home, and it's almost like a DIY smart home option without the cost investment or the wiring investment as the type of hardwired custom integrated
Correct.
ones with those type of screens that you see. So that's really kind of for designers, that's something that's more geared towards new home construction
Correct.
or remodels that are going down to the studs, because the wiring
Definitely.
needs to be run through the walls ahead of time before the sheetrock or anything like that is up.
Yes.
So the
Yep.
other things that we talked about, the remote, which goes in the Pebble, and I could pass that around so you could see. You could use without those hardwired options, or the app, or the voice control.
Exactly.
But the Pebble works actually both in both scenarios,
does.
because that's the control part of it, not the power part.
Correct.
So no matter what, the remote is going to work with, no matter how it's powered,
Yes.
because that's two separate things. But then you can also use the app, and you can also use voice control. So the control part has nothing to do with what's happening on the power end.
Yes, very versatile.
Yeah.
So regardless of the level of integration that they have, we can work with a very simple home automation device, or we could work with very complex
Right.
50 windows with hardwired. We could work with that as well.
Yeah, it said, thank you for bringing that up. That's a great point. If you're going to use the hardwired, you need to do it
Early.
in the beginning of construction, or like she just mentioned, an older home coming down to the studs, because it's really hard to wire once you're at,
Yeah, we've done wiring for people after the fact, and because they're going to be painting the room, and so you have to punch holes all over, so they don't mind. So we'll do that for some people, and we actually did 2 recently.
Oh,
and
good,
then
okay.
we used, and they weren't a lot of shades. It was like 5, 6 shades, and then we used single power supplies in a closet with a strip.
Oh,
So that's,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
so that's an easy way, like you said, a DIY way
Yeah.
of getting powered shades without having to use batteries or rechargeable
Right.
batteries and having them plugged in. So
Right.
the people didn't want to change batteries. Like, I don't want batteries. I don't want
Right.
to change batteries. I don't want to recharge. Figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we found a wiring AV guy, and he came in and wired the room. And
Great.
it really works really well. Works
So
very
as you
well.
can see, there's a lot of options.
A lot of options.
In looking at this slide, we're looking at an inside mount, an outside mount, as well as a ceiling mount. So as you can see, the shades sometimes can be mounted in different.
And I would say there's even another option in a pocket.
That's right.
So, and that's for the new construction and the renovations. They're building pockets so that the shade completely retracts into the ceiling or into the pocket, and you don't see it at all. Very cool.
So we got a little ahead of ourselves, but it's okay. We
Yeah.
got,
We're too anxious.
I know. So here, this is your hardwire pros and cons. So the pros are, if it's pre-planned, it's the best way to do it. Can power multiple shades and larger shades, and it has a clean look to the interior. And the con, again, are on an existing home, costly to tear into walls, unless you're Elliot and he's figured out the way to do it. Construction before installation for existing homes, and it could require an electrician.
Yeah, as long as they're willing to pay to do it. We bring in the AV guy, and the truth is, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
The price wasn't so crazy to do it. They do a really good job, but you need to have a painter and to patch up the sheetrock,
Right.
and paint it again afterwards. But if you're doing it anyway, then we come in and it's a single room and it's all done, and you never have to change a battery, recharge a motor, anything. It's really a pleasure.
So the next option, you want to take it away?
Plug in.
Can you read it or no?
Yeah. Yeah, so for these 2 jobs, we use single plug-in motors, and actually we daisy chained some of them into one power supply, and we use the strip because now we want to plug in multiple singles, but the single can handle 2 shades with a daisy chain.
What's a daisy chain?
So we use a splitter that can get plugged into one power supply and connects to 2 shades. It works really well.
Are we losing you yet?
No, I think they're all good. They're good. Yeah. So that works really well.
And this too can, power larger windows and vertical applications.
Right. And here saying outlet close to the window. Well, that's how we used to do it. But now we're giving a different option, and then we could give the customer a different option of saying, we can then wire it. I've also once done it with a luminette. We had an outlet on the bottom, but they didn't want to see the wire external. So he had his electrician punch a hole, go down, snake it in the wall, and then come out by the outlet, and then we connected it there. So this way the wire was completely hidden
Yeah.
in the
that's,
wall.
That's good.
So, you know, people can be
Yeah.
very ingenuity, have a lot of ingenuity.
Creative.
And be creative, yes. One transformer per window, you could daisy chain 2, not more than that. And if you're doing the power supply, you could only put 1 shade per connector, and it's 16 shades.
So this is the battery powered option, which most people get. And this is great for, you know, existing homes. The power packs are hidden from view. It is cost effective. It's easy to plan. But again, as Elliot said, you know, batteries are batteries, you know, the limited life of a battery. However, we now have rechargeable batteries, which last.
Right, the wand.
Yeah.
They last, we tell people, a good year or 2.
Yeah, and that's
and
good.
that's pretty good. People are happy with that.
Yeah, and
because
then
they
you know it's
used to charging their
rechargeable.
phones every night. You know?
Yeah, there you
So
go.
you could, you know, once a year is not a big deal.
No, and it's good for those hard to reach windows, the ones way up high or over a tub. They're perfect for that. And here, this shows you again the rechargeable batteries. Do you use 12 rechargeables or do you use 188 disposables? I have the rechargeables and
Do you? I don't have people doing that. That's interesting.
no?
No.
Do,
I thought we weren't supposed to do that,
do what?
the rechargeable ones.
No, we can do the
Yeah?
rechargeable ones,
Good.
yeah, right?
No, we have them doing they, you know, I tell them go buy the big pack.
The big pack of batteries?
Yeah, so that we could change all no, not the rechargeable ones, for the disposable batteries
Oh.
when they do it.
Oh. Yeah, I
And
don't
then
know.
you have, these are the rechargeable wands.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
rechargeable wands last a year. I don't know why they're showing that picture of
Even the battery,
Yeah.
this here, yeah.
Yeah, usually people go with the disposables, like
Yeah,
what you
these.
see in here,
Yeah,
or this wand.
Yeah, that's all
So
I've seen,
This
yeah.
wand is once a year can be charged. So the wand lasts for several years, but you only
Right.
need to charge it once a year with your average use of opening and closing twice a day.
right.
If you're not opening it as much, it may last even longer than that on a single charge. And I don't believe they take very long to charge either. I think
No.
they only charge in about 2 or 3 hours.
Right, that's what we tell. And then you have the dual charger there that you can charge 2 of the rechargeable wands at once. So what we tell people is to buy the dual charger, buy 2 extra battery packs, and then you charge them and then swap out for your shades and then continue doing that so you never have the shade without a battery pack.
Yes.
So have 2 extras.
Oh, and then we do have the hybrid on some of our products.
I think I did that project.
Did you? So what that means is you can, it can be activated with a remote or the app or the virtual assistant or by hand. And it's good for patio and sliding glass doors. So you can override it, is basically what they're saying. You don't have to use your remote. You can actually override it. And we're going to look at some of our controls. So I think, did we pass that around, that lovely little pebble?
Yep.
And it comes in tons of colors. Whoops,
On the table, you have all the
I'm
colors.
going too far here.
Maybe you'll try the charger, Yolanda.
What's that?
Show them that charger.
For the internal?
Yeah,
or-
that's an internal, and then I think the box has the single power supply. Right.
There's the plug.
Oh, that's for charging.
Yep. And then this is, so there is the internal battery, rechargeable battery.
Right, and also you have the 16-foot retractable. That's my favorite because it comes out. Take it out, Perry, and show how it retracts. Because this way you really probably don't need you don't need an extension cord.
Right.
It goes to 16 feet. And the great thing about that is that's for the internal rechargeable motors. It's magnetic.
Right.
the end is magnetic, so it's really cool.
So if you had a high window or something like that, and it was problematic for them to take out this battery, it would be an internal battery, and then this would just go up to the high window with a wand. It would stick up there, and it'd be more like you charge your phone. It magnetically stick
Right.
to there. After it's done charging, you pull it down, you put this away for a year, and then take it out next year when you need to charge.
I was looking if that was rechargeable. It's not. Yeah, that's very cool. Pull it, it retract. Pull
Yeah,
it.
I'm just
and then-
pushing it back in.
Yeah,
And so it's very long. What is this? This is 16 feet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the 16-foot one.
Yep.
We also have smart keypads. Again, we talked before about the mobile app. I don't know if they're going to show it to us here, but we also have the for the wall.
The scene. Oh, the surface.
We have the Surface for the wall, which is actually a remote. That's your.
Well, that's the
surface
scene
is
controller.
changer, and then here's the
Right.
surface mount. Do
So
you
the-
have one on your wall? Oh,
Yeah,
here it
right
is,
there.
here.
Oh, good. Okay.
So it comes off. You just twist it if you want to take it
But
off.
this is great. Like if you have a spare bedroom and you have guests come to visit, then you can program it, put it right up on the wall, and nobody's going to lose your remote control
Yeah.
pebble. And it's everything's right there. You've got it programmed, and there's no, because sometimes if someone hasn't used these before, it
Yeah,
gets,
no.
gets a little
If somebody
crazy.
else is using the room, it's good that they have a switch instead of having them need to go on your Wi-Fi to use the app. Because
So that's
people
the-
tell me, "Oh, we'll use the app." I said, "But if you have guests, you want them on your Wi-Fi?" So usually the answer is no. So then you have a switch in the room
Yes.
that they can then operate.
And the one like the Pebble is a remote, and it will work just like the remote works in the Pebble. This is a scene controller, and remember we talked about wine time and all that good stuff. You can program this in here and put it on the wall just like that. So you could do, morning, evening, or
Right,
whatever.
and that works for a guest because it could be a scene that says open, a scene that says close.
Right.
And so that's actually a good way of using a scene controller.
And again, these are the third-party integrations.
Right, somebody asked about Apple HomeKit, so that's there.
These are your mobile. This is a close-up to give you an idea of what it would look like on your phone. Everything's labeled. Everything, your existing rooms, you can put, pick out pictures for that. It's very easy.
Yeah, I could show it to you on my phone if you want to see it afterwards.
So this is health, safety, and welfare. Maintaining darkness in the bedroom at night may be a novel and viable option to prevent depression.
That's interesting.
Can all use a little of that, right? Natural light, it does boost vitamin D, reduces the risk of heart disease, weight gain, various cancers. And the seasonal depression, getting enough sunlight can really lift your moods. Natural sunlight exposes help with sleep cycles, and natural light can actually promote better productivity. Office workers with more natural light exposure have a better, longer sleep. Look at all this light. You guys must sleep great. Okay, and this is in the office. So the number one feature workers want in the office is to access light, and a good amount of sunlight exposure increases productivity and sales by 5 to 40%. And this is just giving you a little idea and letting you know that we can do our shades just about on any window, any type shape window. And some of those shades, as you can see, are top-down shades, top-down, bottom-up. And this is great too. Motorized solutions will help people with those really high windows and the floor-to-ceiling windows, and help people with disabilities. And this is a famous designer. Do any of our designers know him? No? The essence of interior design will always be about people and how they live. It is about the realities of what makes for an attractive, civilized, meaningful environment. Not about fashion or what's in or what's out. This is not an easy job. Agreed? So I hope you liked the presentation. That's the end of our slideshow. Thank you.
Any questions?